Congrats on the ranking.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
Feel good to be back on top again.
well, well, it only matters one time a year, right? That's the end of the year, but it is good. It's it's an honor for sure, and it's testament to how hard the girls are working, and just continue to do what we need to do to get better.
Mike, you guys have lost twice to Florida. You lost once over the weekend, and it seemed like none of that really mattered to the voters. What does that kind of say about the perception of your team nationally, that voters now look past a couple hiccups and say that's still the best team in the nation?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised. They're showing a lot of faith in our hitting, that's for sure, and obviously Sheridan Hawkins, I think. And it's hard to win in series because typically you have to go with another pitcher and everything else, and things change when you get to the postseason. So we've got that in mind, but really we just want to finish in the top 8 RPI-wise, so we can get that home field advantage. Hopefully all the way through.
How pleased were you, or what could you say about sort of that awakening of the Ducks from Saturday into Sunday?
Yeah, well, it's about how we bounce back. You're going to get a body blow somewhere. It's like a boxing match. You're going to take your shots, and it's whether you can get back up and continue to fight. And we know what our weaknesses are, and I think everybody else does too. It's not rocket science, but it's a matter of us coming out and continue to work hard and get better at those areas where we need to work on, obviously, which is defense and the infield and pitching and behind Sheridan. We obviously need to work in those areas, and we've addressed it this week, and hopefully we can continue to get better and in those phases of the game.
When you look back at last year, do you see much of a change when you guys went from number 2 to number 1?
No, Chelsea. We've just been working on getting better. I mean, it's like that's for other people to decide, and it is surprising to me that they've decided to rank us number 1. Because all I look at as a coach is our weaknesses. I'm looking at our strengths. Obviously, 8 home runs, tremendous. What an accomplishment for the program. You figure we hit a fifth of our home runs in one game. So it's kind of crazy. It seems like we get better in conference. Which is the opposite to most teams. They tend to not hit as well in conference. So hopefully it continues to go forward, that we keep getting stronger.
I guess to last year, did you sense a change in your team in any way, confidence-wise, playing-wise, once you guys took that leap to number 1?
Well, last year we hung on to it quite a long time. We had it for 6 weeks, I believe, and this weekend you go down there and you don't play well against UCLA. It won't last very long, trust me. So we're well aware of that. But it's about right now we're in a championship race, for the Pac-12, and 1 weekend down with UW. It's always a tough series for us, but going to UCLA at their place, that's another tough test for our team, and we'll see how we do.
Mike, is there ever going to come a point this year where you might use Sheridan all 3 games in the series?
It definitely could be, and who knows, it could be this weekend. It's something I've toyed with and something I'm thinking about. Obviously, winning a series down there is big because you get one. It's almost like 2 for 1 down there when you play your rival, in the standings, and you beat them 1, they lose 1. So, well aware of that, and it may come down to we might just go 3 times.
It's still kind of early in Pac-12 play. It's just 1 of 8 series, but do you kind of see this as a Pac-12 championship series, just given where you two are?
Well, it very well could be, because you want to control your own destiny. So you go down there, you lose the series, and you're now no longer in control of your own destiny. They're going to have 1 game up on you. So we definitely want to win the series, or at least we're in control, and it matters what we do then, not what somebody else does.
Given the kind of pitching system you want to use, where you want to bring situational pitchers in, is it a little worrisome that you might have to consider throwing Sheridan all 3 games?
Somewhat, as long as it doesn't continue through the rest of the year. I don't want to burn her out. There's no, I don't think that she can go the whole year the rest of the way. And that's been shown. I think the level of softball is up now, where you can't just breeze through any part of the lineup. I mean, most of these teams are pretty deep. So really what we've got to do is we've got to get a number 2 out of the rest of our staff. So we've got Sheridan, then we got 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're going to work as a number 2 together. If they go 1 time through the lineup, that's going to be tremendous, do their job. I think we're averaging, I don't know what we're averaging per game, but when Sheridan's not starting, I bet you're averaging 4 to 5 runs a game. And so, our pitchers need to realize that's all they need to hold is a 4 or 5 run lead.
Saw Janie walking around over at the Mo
Yeah.
without a sling on. What can you tell us about her? And you got to be at least pleased that she's not wearing a sling.
Yeah, we had the X-rays back and no major damage from the X-rays. Now we need to get the MRI back, which is going to tell us some more things about ligaments and muscle damage and other things like that. See if there's any internal bleeding or whatever it is, you know. So we'll get that back, and then we'll hopefully get her back on a speedy road to recovery. I know she's dying to get out there. She wants to play this weekend, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Is she showing good signs? I mean, without the MRI, does it, in your glance, you're giving the eye test, does it look like she's in a position where she could come back sooner than later?
Well, yeah, it's up to her, the trainers and that stuff. I'll leave it to the experts, but just her mobility and her spirits seem pretty good, yeah. And it may happen where it goes like it did last time, where she's going to be out there hitting, but not defensively, just because it's her glove shoulder and she doesn't have that range above her head, but it's okay to keep swinging below her shoulders. So that may be something that we work on and ease her back in, because she was just starting to tear the ball up, and now all of a sudden she gets another setback, and we don't want her out too long. If she can just keep seeing pitches, I think it'll help that way as well.
What adjustments do you make then in the lineup with her out?
Well, that's a good question. It depends on who's pitching against us. So I have Sammy Puentes and I have Lauren Linville probably to choose from. And each one brings something a little bit different to the table. I think Lauren's got a stronger arm for sure in the outfield. About the same kind of coverage. Sammy's faster. Offensively, Lauren is maybe a little bit stronger on the hitting. It could go either way, but Sammy's also another triple threat. We're still working on a short game with her. So I've got some options. I'm going to see which one wants it more. I'm going to put them both out there, and we'll see how it goes.
But do you move somebody else into her spot in the batting order?
Leading off, or number 2, probably Danica Mikado right now. It seemed to work pretty good on Sunday. But that's going to be a feel thing. I'll see how it goes. But Danica's been having some great at-bats and battling hard and really making pitches work. So if she can do that right behind Alyssa, after Alyssa does the same things, we're going to have pitches thrown deep into the first innings for a number of pitches.
Gwen was taking some balls at first when we got here. Is she potentially someone you want to get in that spot more frequently?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been a tough position for her as far as she's hitting so well. Where do we play her? And obviously Janelle just has the experience. She knows these kids from Southern California and UW as well, and she knows them a lot better and works their pitches better at this stage, because Queen's just a freshman and Janelle's a junior. That's to be expected. So how do we fit that hitter in who's batting almost 500? It's like, well, first base. Maybe that's an area we can get you at where you're not catching.
What are the subsequent moves then? Decker to second, and then
it could very well be, and Mikado goes to the outfield. Maybe he fills that left field spot. And then I can always put Jerry Ann at first, but I don't think she's quite as good a first baseman as Decker. Decker's still got the nod there, but it just gives me options, and that's what I want. I want to see if we can put people in different positions. Yeah.
Thanks,
Great, thank you.